I have a feeling neither of you have ever seen this, and I have a lot to say about it. So I'm just going to say, have y'all seen Horns?
Horns.
Yes. The faces you're making tell me no.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Daniel
seen
Radcliffe,
that.
the kid from Harry
Who's
Potter.
in it?
Daniel Radcliffe,
Daniel Radcliffe.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, I know who it is.
Okay.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
No.
Okay. Well,
go ahead and describe it. Go ahead and tell us about it.
Quick synopsis about it. That way you can understand why I chose it. The very beginning of the movie, he is the bad guy, without a doubt. He is just this filthy. He's just doesn't look like a good guy. Doesn't look like a hero in any way. Then you find out. Then he opens up his blinds, and there are people. He's in his house. He opens up his blinds, and there are people on his front porch and in his yard, camera crews and stuff, because he's been accused of murdering his girlfriend, and the evidence is overwhelming that he murdered his girlfriend in the woods. And then it's instead of just being like a weird, like a Hallmark movie, they go a different way, because then all of a sudden he starts sprouting horns out of his forehead, like actual horns. And then it becomes weird, like almost like religious movie in some ways and stuff. And then it becomes really amazing, because every time he walks up to somebody, he doesn't want this to happen. He doesn't understand what's going on, but those horns make people reveal how they really feel. And whether they want to or not, they're compelled to do so without even thinking about it. Like the girl, he sleeps with this girl. She's attractive. He sleeps with her. And the next morning, she just goes, "Do you think I could eat another donut?" And he's like, "Yeah, knock yourself out." And she's like, "Okay." And she shoves it in her mouth. She goes, "Do you think I could have the rest of the box?" And he's like, "I guess if you want." And she just goes, "Okay," because honestly, I don't really want to do that. I just want to eat all the time. I'm so hungry. I just want to eat, but I feel like nobody will appreciate me or respect me, and you don't want to sleep with me unless I look a certain way. And it's like, oh my God, you're like, oh, well, that's kind of deep. And you don't even think about it. You just think she just had a moment. And he goes to a clinic, and at the clinic, this mom is dealing with the kid, and she's like, sometimes I just want to throw him on the floor and kick him or something like that. She just starts saying these things out loud. And then he's in there being seen about these horns, and the doctor's just like, I don't really know what I can do, but I just really want to fuck her. Is it okay if I fuck her real quick? And he's just like, I'm sorry, let's redo that again so you can edit it. He just, I just really want to sleep with her. You mind if I sleep with the nurse real quick? And the nurse is like, yeah, I've been wanting to do that too. He's just like, can you look at this first though? And they start doing all this stuff. And it's just, the whole movie goes nuts from there. And if you've never seen it, you should. He is, you can't get more anti-hero than looking at his name Ig in the movie. IG stands for Ig. But by the end of it, you're just like, wow, I didn't see that coming, and that's pretty damn cool. And you come full circle with this character, and so much is revealed slowly. It's one of those movies that another piece unfolds, and his own mother and father hate his guts. They don't tell him that until he's got horns. You know what I mean? It gets wild. It's a fucking wild movie. And I'm sorry, it's a darn wild.
I'm gonna.
That is two that I need to look it up. That's two that I need to see. Okay.
That was my 4.
Okay.
Who's your number 4, Owen?
So I had a toss up there, but I'm going to go with Deadpool.
Okay.
I had to go ahead with the basic character for Deadpool because I was like, okay, we're in the top ones, and either he was going to be set somewhere in somebody else's. I'm assuming that he's going to be at least in one of your lists. He's selfish as hell, and the whole time it's actually about him just wanting revenge. He ends up becoming a hero, an anti-hero basically, but he's still doing things even down to when you get into the second movie. It's not about him doing the right thing. It's just him doing what he wants to do until he saves the kid. So, in the first one, he just wants to rescue his girlfriend. That's it, but he's going around killing a bunch of people, and it had nothing to do with his girlfriend when he was doing it. It's just, hey, you messed my face up. I can keep the powers. I just want my face fixed.
Right.
So I went with Deadpool for my number 4.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. He's not in mine.
Okay.
It's nothing against the Deadpool character. It's just that before I continue, I think that he did Deadpool right. Let's just make sure Ryan Reynolds did Deadpool perfect. I just haven't been. I just didn't get drawn into Deadpool just like everybody else did, and I guess after the whole thing died down, I just never really felt the need to sit there and like really get into it like beforehand. And I'm also going to say that that damn X Men movie or that X Men Origins movie, let's just make sure, really did a bad job. Give me invested into it. So yeah, I mean I like it, but I'm not really didn't get on the train.
Hmm.
Well, for me, I think he's clearly an anti-hero, and I'm kind of embarrassed again that I didn't even think of him. But it's just I didn't even go there with him because I don't know why. Because yeah, he kind of fits it to a T. Yeah, he's selfish, but he does end up doing heroic things, and he does save the day, and he prevents things from happening, which is a big. So yeah, I get it. I'm totally on board with that one.
Yeah. Well, the best thing he did though was when he went back in time and shot himself.
From that damn.
He shot Ryan Reynolds and he shot the other Deadpool from Origins, and that was classic to me. Because he realized that he also shot when he shot Ryan Reynolds, he shot himself reading the Green Lantern script, and I was like, you know what? That's when you can make fun of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're telling the truth about that one. Okay. Well, my number 3 is I have Snake Plissken.
Okay.
He is to me he is the original anti-hero. He's that guy who was forced to go and rescue the president. It's just something about him. His style is wick. I mean, everything about the way how he just plays that character. Just like what was said before, I just like Snake Plissken. A good friend of mine, dragged me to the movies one time to go watch it when they replayed it up at the Draft House. And I'm like, yeah, Snake Plissken is that guy. He's my number 3.
Okay,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Definitely.
I did nothing wrong with that one at all. I might have to change my number 2 because I thought of somebody else. But as far as number 3 for me, it's from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it's not Blondie, it's Tuco.
Oh.
And the reason I go with Tuco is because he's clearly an outlaw. He's a killer, a thief, a con man. Yeah, you never really wants him to lose. You don't really want him to lose or get killed. You know what I mean? You're rooting for him to get through, and then you discover that he lost his father when he was very young, and he had to run the family. So he did what he had to do to take care of them and everything, take care of his little brother and his mom. And then, I mean, that's crazy. When you start looking at it that way, he's a villain, but not, I don't know. There's something about him. He just becomes endearing to you. And obviously, you're not the only one feeling that way as the person watching the movie, because the main character, Clint Eastwood, he has a chance to kill him at the end. And that last scene is still one of the best shootout scenes on a film in history to me, in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, in that circle in the middle of the cemetery. Yeah. And they even had a documentary about that happening over there where they shot the movie. The local townspeople went over there and they found that place and they recreated it just to have an event and watch the movie there in that cemetery, which didn't really exist, but they made it happen just for that. And I'm like, that's amazing. I mean, that just shows you the impact of that movie. But at the end of it, Tuco not only doesn't get killed, he doesn't kill anybody. He's about to hang and die, you think. And then Blondie turns around and shoots the rope. So he, just like he did before, so that way he falls down, hits his head on one of the 3 bags of gold that Blondie left for him. So obviously, even though he's the bad guy, and like another good example of that too is when he's getting tore up by that big dude in the prisoner POW camp, you just feel bad for Tuco. And he's going to break, unlike Blondie. And of course he does break because he's not a hero, but he's, he is doing heroic things here and there, I guess. But I don't know. I put him now. Now I'm saying I probably should have gone with somebody else, but
I mean, it's an interesting look at it. I definitely wouldn't have seen that coming. So, but I get it. I get it. Your explanation helps to see it that way.
Yeah, that is true.
I definitely didn't see that at all. So that makes me want to go look at it again and say, let me see if I see what he sees based on what you told me. I'm interested. And the funny thing is, That movie was on earlier today. I could have watched it, and yeah, I could have watched it, and I chose not to. So now I wish I did, because then maybe I could have seen it better based on what you just explained.
There's a day that we can probably find it.
Yeah, I can find it. My number 3 was your number 10, Boondock Saints, the McManus brothers. That was, I mean, your explanation said it all. I mean, honestly, the Russian mafia want to take over their bar, and since they decided, these guys are way more intelligent than you would expect in the beginning of the movie. They speak like 5, 6 different languages, and they're actually really, really intelligent. So ordinary guys, extraordinary circumstances, and yeah, they were only heroes to each other. They weren't trying to be heroes to the people. They weren't doing that, you know. And then when they started taking on what their actual role was going to be, they said, well, hey, if you're bad, we're going to kill you. There's nothing else to it. We're not doing this because it's the right thing to do. We're doing this because you're bad and we're just going to kill you. And then to find out that their father, who actually whipped their ass, you know, at one point, turns out to be their father, and they only know this because of the prayer. And, you know, the second one wasn't that great to me, but I still watch it because it's a cult classic to me, you know, watching the Boondock Saints period. And delving deeper into his history, it makes more sense why they are the way they are. Mm-hmm. So I put them as my number 3.
Yeah, I see that. I like your ceiling, Zago.
Yeah. Hope that's not asbestos.
Oh man, that's termites, man. White termites. Okay, my number 2 is John Wick.
Okay.
I mean, you know, again, this is where I was struggling with, and I'm like, okay, where we go? How do we go? Do you consider him an anti-hero? I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, because he ain't no hero. He ain't saving nobody's lives. He's not doing anything. First thing was that they went. Okay, Joseph went over there. He didn't give a damn about the damn car. You killed the dog. The dog was the last gift from his wife. And then you know, only thing he wanted was to kill Joseph. Everybody was in his way, and he was just murdering everybody. That's just it. It was all about him and just revenge for, you know, murdering his dog. Part 2, you know, you know, again, it may have got, you know, he wanted to get out, but unfortunately they dragged him back in, tried to frame him, which I thought was stupid. 3 was too fucking long. You know, I'm not gonna lie. As much as I love 3, it was just so fucking long. But yeah, I have to edit. It's going to be edited. It's just
he really passionate about that.
Yeah.
Wesley, give me your number 2.
All right. Well, my number 2, I almost want to change it just because I had this guy on my previous list, which was villains, and I thought he shouldn't have been on there after I said it, and that was Dracula from Dracula Untold, Luke Evans.
Okay.
Because the man, he's a hero in the beginning. He's his king of his people and everything. It's like a reverse arc for an anti-hero, because at the end of it, he's definitely evil as hell. Right. But you know, that's why I was going to put him. But I'm going to just take that guy off, and I'm going to replace him with because I didn't. As soon as you had said Snake Plissken, it snapped to me. I just lost his name now. Jack from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh wow! Okay, I can go with that. I can go with that.
100%. That's he's my number 2 for sure. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. The next thing you know, he's fighting, you know, Chinese underworld, a demon in Lo Pan and everything else. And he's the guy's awesome. And then he's the one who actually, out of everything else, he's the one who throws the dagger that kills Lo Pan.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he's definitely an anti-hero because why can't I remember his last name? What's his last name? Burton. Jack Burton. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think about him before now. All it took was you to say Kurt Russell, and I was like, fucking Big Trouble in Little China. So, yeah, he's to forget Luke Evans. Sorry, Luke Evans.
Hey, you know, so your favorite anti-hero was killed Force's favorite, one of Force's villains. I remember because he picked David Lopan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Go
that
ahead.
is funny. That's funny. See that? Look at how the story arc just happened. We tied it in. Thanks, Wes. Like, so my
Okay.
number 2
Yeah,
was
go
a
ahead.
toss-up, and I'm going to say this: it was at first it was really John Wick for my number 2. It really was, man. Like when I tell you I changed it just before my Skype rang, I changed it just before my Skype rang.
Oh,
And
wow.
who I put was Thanos.
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 Okay. Okay.
Okay, let me tell you why.
Sasha just
Okay.
asked his 49ers thing, what's going on?
You want to know why I'm picking Thanos, or you don't understand why? Thanos was not a villain. He was not portrayed as a villain. Huh?
He's a bitch. Why Thanos?
What do you mean? He killed trillions just to go ahead and help everybody. He did it to help everybody though. Because let's think about this now, right? What he wanted to do was help people to flourish. And in order to do that, there was too many people to make it happen. So he got rid of the suffering by getting rid of a lot of people. Come on now. There was no him doing this because he's just a bad guy. Yeah, he had to do things like kill people. Sometimes he didn't have to kill you, but hey, it is what it is, right? But he did what he had to do because he saw that in order for us to survive, we needed to stop having so many people. Resources were limited on Earth and everywhere else. So, hey, let's get rid of all these people.
Okay.
That's why I put him there.
Okay.
Sasha's really upset by this.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys. You apparently have a lot to say, but I'm just gonna say this real quick.
Yeah.
I saw Thanos' character as just a sociopath who didn't have an emotional reaction to anything until he throws Gamora off. Once he throws Gamora off that cliff to get the Soul Stone, I was like, okay, you're not a sociopath anymore. You're just an asshole. Because sociopaths don't have any emotional attachment whatsoever. So,
but he did have one.
Yeah, Gamora.
Like, no. He had one before Gamora. If you remember, he explained to her that he had an opportunity to do this before, and he squandered that opportunity. That's what made him so focused on getting it done. He had an opportunity to do it before.
What? Get the Soul Stone?
To actually go ahead when he started wanting to go ahead and kill half of everybody, right? He had an opportunity to do it. He explained it to Gamora. I had a chance to actually fulfill my destiny, and I passed it up. Well, his first interaction with Gamora also shows that he had something for her in the beginning when he killed the people on her planet. So it wasn't until he threw her off he actually ended up liking her from before. Yeah, and if you remember, he wanted her to take his place because he knew he was going to die in doing what he had to do. So he was trying to build that empire for her.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a interesting pick. That's what
it's a reach.
Like
I said, I had John Wick, and then I changed it literally. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put Thanos in here, and then bring. So
I'm sorry, I just don't like Thanos. I don't like the Marvel movies of Thanos. I'm sorry. I don't mean no disrespect, but it's just that.
Oh, you do.
It's just that you have to think about it. When I think of Thanos, I think of the Marvel comics. The guy who wanted the Soul Stone because he wanted to win the love of death. He wasn't doing it for all this other stuff. Now they made him this guy. I want that guy. When I think of Thanos, I think of this one of those types that just goes around just killing people. You know?
Okay.
You know. And so in this, I don't know. I just don't like them. I just don't like the Marvel MCU. They really made a bunch of their villains a bunch of chumps. And that's another subject for something else because I don't want to go on a tangent about it.
Not like
just
you
like
did
what we did
already.
with John Wick.
It's not like you did already, right? But I do understand your opinion on that. And
Yeah.
like I said, I was looking at it as technically he wasn't a bad guy. He actually just and I get the sociopath part. I can go with that. Right? But in the end, he was looking for the better for the universe compared to what everybody else was doing. Everybody else was just like, we all need to live. No, you don't. There's 5 of us, and there's only enough food for 3. You're pissing me off. You gotta go. that's pretty much what he was doing. So, but I get it. We definitely gonna have a discussion about that.
Yes, that is one, and I will put that up in our next chat, and we'll see which one we should talk. We can talk about. So I think looks like we all went on a tangent about Star Wars, John Wick, and now we got chump ass Thanos, whatever.
Wow!
The
Clutch the pearls. Clutch the pearls, like Sheesh.
Okay, so my number one is the Punisher. I said that Blake Plissken was the original. No, the Punisher is the original anti-hero. He went around murdering people. He actually killed the bad guys because things weren't because he went after people who he went after those who the law just wouldn't bring into justice because of the death of his family, the murder of the family. You just have to look at it. If you did wrong, he's murdering you. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't know you guys. I know you guys seen the Netflix version of the Punisher, right?
Love it.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I love that one. I just think that it really sets the tone on. It just really sets everything. So, I just like the Punisher. The Punisher to me, Frank Castle, no matter how you word it, I just love everything about the Punisher, except for the halfway through season 2, the way how they killed off Jigsaw. I thought that was fucking stupid. But that's another discussion for another time.
Okay.
Okay.
What? I am curious about your number one.
Oh, we're going. Well, do you want to keep? I mean, for Punisher, I think we kind of talked about him, but I can totally get on board with that 100% because I say 100%, probably 90%, because he never really does heroic acts in the movie that are not self-serving. He's not protecting other people. You know what I mean? But he is avenging a horrible thing that happened because like I said, I actually had the Saints as one of my villains. I think I took them off the list, but I had them in there. Maybe I took them off because they wiped out an entire family. Because one kid got killed incidentally. They literally killed grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and children on a beach. It was it was really, as far as like any kind of retribution, I never seen nothing like it on film before. But people don't talk about it because it's a comic book movie. But that was amazing what they, not in a good way, but just like you were amazed by. I cannot believe somebody could be that hollow and that empty that they could be okay. An eye for an eye is an eye for 74 eyes. You know what I mean? It blows my mind about that. So that's the whole Punisher thing is just amazing. Really, when you get down to it, we're a comic book. Because at the end of the day, it's a comic book. Right. It was designed for young teenagers, but children the same, and it's such in-depth adult content.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'll always love the Punisher, but
I like even though the movies, in my opinion, are not as good, except for certain little things that we talked about. Not the whole crappy one, but
Warzone.
I like his interaction, even in the TV series with Daredevil, which is technically Daredevil is considered, sometimes an anti-hero too. He's a hero and an anti-hero at times. So the interaction that they had showed the true difference between hero and anti-hero. And Punisher, he has chances when he is a good guy, and then he has chances where he's just like, hey, I think this bullet would look good in you, so I'm going to put it there. You know, so, but I get it. I get your number one. I would never argue it. I fought with that for my list too. So I get
have y'all seen Dirty Laundry?
Dirty Laundry.
No.
Okay,
No.
if y'all are both Punisher fans, YouTube it. Dirty Laundry.
Oh, yes. I have seen Dirty Laundry. Oh, that one, yeah.
It's got-
No, I haven't seen that.
That was the Tom Jane one, right? Where he's doing his laundry, and then that motorcycle, that gang, he over there and kills that gang. Oh, yeah.
And see, the reason I bring that up is because you define him as an anti-hero.
Mhm.
And that same character, it's not really a sequel because it's just a short. But that short made people like me go, make another damn movie. You know, I would have gone, I would have paid my money to see it. I was excited, especially if they filmed it like they did Dirty Laundry. Well, that is 100% a hero because he doesn't have to do a damn thing. And he chooses to act. He chooses to do something for other people. So, I mean, that really does solidify him as being your number one. I can totally get behind that, and I'm thinking about that because of that one short. You know what I mean? But they just didn't go forward with it. I'll never understand why.
Okay.
But if you're ready for my number,
I'm going to look at that after we get off.
it's totally worth it. It's only like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the one that Thomas Jane wished that, he was upset about that they didn't. He wanted that one to be that Punisher to be. Who's your number one, Wes?
My number one is William Money from Unforgiven.
Oh,
That's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And I look at that. I'm going to read this one because I had really thought about my number one a lot.
Okay.
While it's clear that many of Clint Eastwood characters are anti-hero, the good, the bad, and the ugly, Full of Dollars, $3 More, Heartbreak Ridge, and even, of course, Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry, yeah.
William Money is it for me. You're introduced to a somewhat broken down old man with two very young children, which I always found strange. He's a widower in a shack raising pigs. He is filthy, not able to keep up with the work of the farm. A stranger comes riding up and offers him a job killing two men. And you're just like, that's surprising. You wouldn't expect that because of the way what you're looking at. And then you learn Will was a gunman with no morals. He had killed many people, including women and children. His first meeting with his antagonist is Little Bill, and that's played by Gene Hackman, which he does amazing in that. And Will experiences basically a one-sided beatdown that nearly kills him, and he is seen crawling on his belly out of the saloon. Not even slightly heroic. You know what I mean? But he's literally just pulling himself out because he can't even stand. He's nursed back to health by his fellow bad man, Ned, played by Morgan Freeman, and a couple of the whores from the saloon. And that's just not heroic either. Right. And then he heals up and he ends up sniping one of the two men. No offense to Tom Berenger, but there's nothing heroic in sniping. One of his partners kills the other cowboy, and that's it. Will is ready to go home, and he just wants to spend his money on his farm and his kids. He doesn't care. He's done. And then when that happens, Little Bill actually goes nuts and kills Ned. And even though he's got all the money now, he can just leave. The only reason he doesn't is because he wants to do one more thing that is not heroic at all. And that is he gets drunk off his ass. The demon alcohol takes over. And then he rides into town. Let's see. He has a chance. He goes in there, and really he just got lucky because he tries to shoot him with a shotgun, and there's a misfire. So he throws it. Next thing you know, he pulls out his gun, and those cops those deputies were really bad shots, and he didn't get killed. And he ends up killing 2 or 3 of them, and then he has a chance to even show mercy to Little Bill, and he shoots him in the face with a 50 caliber rifle. And then he starts to leave, and he actually yells out. He's like, "If I see anybody in the street, I'm not only going to kill them. And if somebody takes a shot at me, I'm going to kill them, kill all their friends and his wife and kids, and burn their damn house down." And then he rides away into the rain and the pitch black of night. It's a moonless night, and he just rides away, and it's black, and you're just like, Jesus, what did I just watch? But it's because during the entire movie, there's never really a time you're not wanting this clear-cut assassin villain to not win. And you never find yourself rooting for the sheriff, Little Bill. And, you know, those movies that when it's over, you're just like, I don't know how to feel about myself because that's not who I should have been rooting for Little Bill. And then just that just that last scene between the two of them where he just goes, "I don't deserve this to die like this. I was building a house," and he just goes, "Deserves got nothing to do with it." And he shoots him in the face, and you're like, "Whoa, whoa, he didn't deserve that," you know? So yeah, for me, he clearly number one for me. So
I like it. I like it.
I gotta watch it.
You never seen Unforgiven?
No, I've never seen Unforgiven.
That movie is,
I'm so sorry.
That movie is great. That movie is great. But you definitely should watch it if you get a chance, Sasha.
I think it's on Prime. I'm gonna watch it.
So the funny thing is, right? My toss-ups on 2 and 1 were the same with Sasha, because originally my toss-up on 2 was John Wick, and I switched it, and then my number 1 was Punisher, and then I switched it to Blade. I felt that Blade was a good choice for the anti-hero. He's not doing it to save anybody, and he didn't even care when he did save somebody. He was just like, hey, vampires got to go. That's it. I don't care about anything else. You know, the only thing he cared about was Whistler. At that time, the only thing he cared. And even in the first one, when he saved the girl, he was like, hey, you can either turn to a vampire, I'm going to kill you, or you don't turn to a vampire, I might kill you anyway. But, you know, but basically, he doesn't even really look at doing any heroics for anyone. It just so happens that that's what happens in the process of him doing what he's doing. So in my opinion, that's definitely an anti-hero. His moral ground means nothing when it comes to the familiars who actually happen to be human. He treats them exactly like he does the vampires, so it doesn't matter to him. You guys can die, and it doesn't matter to me. If I see that tattoo on you somewhere, you're dead. So, you know, I felt like he should have definitely been in my list. And if the list was longer, he wouldn't have made number 1. If the list was longer, if we did like a top 20, he wouldn't have been 1. And my list actually would have changed a little bit, not much, but the top 10 would have been definitely different from what I have now. If it was like a top 15 or top 20, but because of the way we did this, Blade became my number 1.
Okay, I got that. I definitely got that. Shoot. Because I fought with Blade at one time, and I was just wondering, could we consider he is technically an anti-hero because he's not sitting here like for law and justice. He just wanted to get rid of some bloodsuckers, you know. And he did, and when he saved Karen, he had like a little bit of a regression because he thought that she reminded me of his mother. Which I'm going to be honest with you, every time I watch that movie, I'm trying to see. I don't see how those two look alike. And how would Blake know what his mother looked like when he was just like minutes old? I don't remember.
That's the only. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I always thought the same. He wouldn't know what his mom looked like. You know, he wouldn't be like, "It reminds me of my mom." Yeah, but for us as watching the movie, it made perfect sense. But what you just said is clear cut. It's like he wouldn't make that registration.
The only resemblance was, hey, she's black and she's black. That was it. You know what I mean? So you're telling me that any black woman you would have saved reminded you of your mother. That's what you're basically telling me. So
that's right there. I mean, because there was nothing else, and let's just say hypothetically that he did. Like, there's no resemblance there. So, but yeah, I was just like when it came to Blade, I just did. I have fought with it, but I'm like, if I made it, I'm with you. If there was a longer list, Blade would have probably made my top 12 or top 15. But the other ones that I have on there, I just can't put him over them. Yes, even over Bo Darvel, I cannot put him over Bo Darvel.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say too, I had a couple honorable mentions I wanted to mention. That's cool.
Yeah, I actually had a couple too.
Okay.
And the only reason I didn't put him in my list, because honestly, they would have been, Will and Money would have been 3. And these in order would have been 2 and 1. But I couldn't do it because the format was different, because it was long format in a series rather than a movie. But for me, Walter White and Breaking Bad with Bryan Cranston, that's 100% an anti-hero. You started off rooting for him because he's got cancer and he wants to earn money for his family. But unfortunately, within 18 months, he's responsible for 201 deaths.
Right.
And with 14 of those committed by himself. including his own liver shot that ended up killing him. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's something I always thought was pretty amazing, because there's nothing good or redeeming about him after the first season, really. He has all these chances to stop doing it, and he chooses not to. He chooses to continue to do it because he's prideful about what he's done.
Right.
And that's all it is, about his pride. And he could have quit 100 times over, and he just doesn't quit, and he ends up being responsible for 201 people dying. So that's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And then me, number one, I guess I'll just say, I'll let you do your honorable mention. Dexter Morgan from Dexter, played by Michael C. Hall. I mean, he's a serial killer, and let's see, a wild thought, but that's exactly what the show was. A serial killer that, you root for. You want to see him do well. If you've never watched it, you should. It's a show that is damn near perfect. With most shows, you can predict what's coming. Not really when it comes to Dexter. He killed 135 people in 8 seasons, and you find yourself rooting for a murderer, which you don't expect, but you want him to do what he's doing, and you're worried. You're always worried he's going to be caught and exposed to multiple people. And then, to me, that's a serial killer that's killed over 130 people should not be even considered a hero. But he is an anti-hero based off of that, because it's told from his perspective, and you actually want to see him succeed in whatever he's doing. And, when he stops killing and then he starts killing again, at least for me, I don't know about everybody, but I'm hoping everybody else is just like, yes, get back to killing. And you're like, wait a minute, what am I saying?
Right.
But that's exactly how I felt about those two. So I couldn't put them on there because we were only doing movies. But those, to me, those are the clear-cut 1 and 2. Those series are amazing. So
I get it. I had some honorable mentions too. I'm not going to go through the explanation unless there's one that you guys want me to explain.
I'm sorry.
Basically, I had no. You're good. I had these 4, which everybody probably will agree with, which was Hulk, Wolverine, Spawn, and Venom. Right? They're all anti-heroes, every single one of them. I actually thought that somebody was going to have Wolverine for sure, because that's the most popular pick out of everybody. And then Spawn would have probably been the next one, and then Hulk, if you're going to go in order, But I wasn't trying to go with the obvious when I did my picks. I actually saw other qualities that made the anti-hero to say, okay, well, Wolverine is actually doing it to help people, though. He's just a dude who doesn't give a shit and he kills you. The Hulk, on the other hand, is definitely more anti-hero than Wolverine, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? And Spawn, well, he started off being selfish, and then he became an anti-hero when it came down to saving that alley. So Venom is he's just twisted. So,
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry, Owen.
No. That's the 4 that I had left. Like I said, I had a toss up on a bunch of different spots where there was other ones that I'll send you the list so you guys can see it, and you're gonna say, I get it. You're gonna probably say I get it with that entire list.
And guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really enjoyed doing this list, and this one, I got more laughs out of this one. That I really did appreciate you guys sitting down with us. Since next week is Super Bowl weekend, you guys I think that we should do this within after Super Bowl. Wesley, I know you said that you're not watching sports and all, but unfortunately, a lot of us do. So,
I mean, I'm willing to do it on
because y'all think y'all make but the missus runs your schedule. So thank you very much, Mrs. Carter and Mrs. Morris. I appreciate you all. Hey, how was Mrs. Morris's birthday anyway?
It went well. It went really well.
Okay.
So you got you a January, huh? I got one too.
Actually, my wife and my oldest daughter are born on the same day, in January. They're born on the same day, so she got a gift.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, my wife was born in January also. So
I really appreciate you all sitting down and talking with us. Well, I'll get and I want to thank you all for joining Anger Management. And remember, you all have been warned. You all have a good night. Okay.
All right, man. Have a good one. Enjoyed the talk.
Enjoyed it.